Hi, howdy potty here. How y'all doing? Sorry, no, I'm not Artie. We are waiting for Artie. Whoops, hang on. There, we'll get rid of that echo. No, I'm not Artie, but I play one on TV. Howdy potty here. Hope y'all ready for a good show. Yeah, Rick, if I can find the link, I will hook you up while we're waiting for Artie. I don't know which one's the right one.
Howdy doody.
Howdy, stranger. What's up?
Oh, good. I can hear. Can you hear me all right?
No, I cannot hear you all right.
Oh, all right. You're a band. Smart ass.
It's not the only part of me that's smart.
G'day, guys. How are you? Good morning or good afternoon and good evening to everyone. I'm out and about in Thirlmere, which is just out west from my place. It's the Thirlmere Steam Festival 2023, which is the official launch for our steam train program within our state. I'm going to say a quick hello to everybody. Hello, Jim. James, how are you? Of course, Anthony, you're there. Rick, how you doing, bud? John Benicki. Dwight, how are you? Ron Moen, nice to see you in here, mate. Ray Ron, how are you? Yeah, come up, Rick, come up. We can do a threesome. Come on, come up.
Hey, when you asked me to co-host, you didn't say anything about doing threesomes.
Well, yeah, that's what we normally do when I'm on an outing. We always have a threesome.
Yeah, I'm not involved in that. I'm sorry, I'm monogamous. And you
G'day, Rick Swayroad, and welcome aboard, bud.
got Ray Ron in the basement.
Oh, bring him up, bring him up.
Okay, Ray Ron, you're coming up. I hope you're ready.
I was ready.
Hello.
Wait, if you're always ready, you don't belong on this show.
That's right, mate. You gotta be ready. As soon as you get say I'm coming on, that's it.
Fair enough.
And I saw Trackside Mike. I don't know if he's still here or not, but man, I had the egg and bacon rolls and the fresh cooked donuts. And Wigwag was after his cookies. Well, he's missed out on his cookies. Les, how are you, buddy? Anyway, so I'm at the entrance to the museum. It's not the normal entrance, but Richard is. I haven't got a home. Well, anyway, Richard and I have already been on our morning train ride. We went up to Buxton and back. I will add the video of the train trip in next week's Fun Day Friday, or might actually do a special, what you call it, video during the week. So This museum where I'm at is basically, it's got all the old historical trains of this state from New South Wales, from the early steam era to the late diesels. We've got the Queen's carriage that the Queen travelled in 1958. We do have a visitor from Melbourne. We have the R class that's been converted from broad gauge to standard gauge. But I believe she's broken down. She doesn't look too good. She's only done one run this morning. The R class, it's a Hudson. Used to be used for express passenger and freight down in Victoria. And sounds like coal. Well, talk about coal. Yes, this area is a coal mining community, and yes, our steam trains still run on coal as well, except for the R class that runs on oil. It's an oil burner. G'day, BNSF Bob. How are you? This whole area basically is coal mining and limestone and sandstone as well, so it gives you an idea what we got up here. G'day, Tammy and Ray, nice to see you in here. And pink waving. Right, okay. I'm at the entrance to where the museum used to be and the old Stasher Master's house. And we're going to gradually walk in. It's a shame Rick's not here because I've got his... He can go for a train ride in here. They've got 2 trains here. So how you been, Ray?
You can get in.
Let me just change the camera. So how's everybody been, all right?
Going well. Busy but good.
So it's good to be busy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to give it...
Artie, that's not a train.
So it's got to be one smart ass about amongst us, eh? And it's got to be you.
It's why you hired me.
Well, as I said, we're at the entrance, so we're starting off with old, what do you call it, farming machinery. And it is a steam festival, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a steam train, but we do have a steam traction engine here.
Look at that.
That's operating an old water pump. There used to be a car around here that runs on steam. The only way the guy gets that going is when with his wife pushing the car in the background. Hey, that's a trade to loco.
All
right.
But he is loco.
Let me see. I'm going to go up in this old goods shed. Actually, I'll go to the entrance here. Show you guys the latest steam engine that this organisation has restored. It's a 30 class. It originally started its life as a tank engine, and when the electrification came into Sydney network, it was converted to a tender engine like this, and it worked on a lot of branch lines at the end of its era, or the end of its life, and just short freight and passenger services. And this was actually the train that Richard and I were on.
Ah, it's gorgeous.
This is basically my colour scheme that I model in the HO. This car was made in, it's got steel panelling. This was made in the 50s, the late 50s. The wooden ones are actually made in the early 50s, late 40s. And they ran right up to about 93, 94. When the electrification came down to my area, and
And indoor plumbing.
they basically got rid of all the diesel hauled passenger trains. This used to be an old, this used to be an old freight depot. So all the parcels used to come in through a shed like this and head down to Sydney. We've got the 35 class at the far end. And these cars are known as the FS cars or sets. And the crane that's operating in the background is the only steam power crane still in existence in this state. We'll get a closer shot at it later. But cranes like that, those steam power cranes, is what built a lot of Sydney itself, the heart of the city, like your Harbour Bridge, your dams, all the infrastructure around there was actually built by a crane of that type, and they've actually restored it in operating condition. G'day, John. How are you? Lehigh Valley, Lehigh River. So the way we're looking
for that steam crane, what do they? Is it just for display purposes, or do they actually use it to do work on?
They do use. They have used it to load coal with, and only comes out during like a steam festival that we have. We have a few festivals like this, or the steam galas in this area. It gives an idea of people get an idea what it looks like working.
Artie, we have Randall in the basement.
He can come up, but you'll have to let me do most of the talking this time, though. Yeah, he can come up.
Yeah, no worries, Artie. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys remember back in 2019 when there was a lot of big bushfires in the Sydney area, Sydney Basin. This museum got saved, thankfully, but a lot of this area here got burnt pretty bad. You guys will still see in the video some resemblance of the old pine trees and the long native trees. They're still pretty black from 2019, but all the native trees have come back to life. So that's looking south towards Canberra and Melbourne. And if I go back this way, that heads down towards Sydney end. G'day, Ray. How are you, buddy? You're never too late, mate. I'm being a bit lazy at the moment. Because OVR's got a presentation going on at the moment. Special announcement on his stock. And I said I'm going to take it a bit slow for the first half hour. So after that, it's free for all. Sorry, bud. It's an interesting place. It's only about an hour's drive, an hour and a half south of Sydney on the main freeway to Canberra, Melbourne. And it's about 40 minutes drive, or half an hour to 40 minutes drive from my place. There's a steam vessel there with the vertical boiler.
Sorry, Artie, I didn't mean to. I thought it muted, but it didn't. So.
No, you're right, mate. You're right. Miniature live steamer. Wouldn't mind doing one of them. G'day, GW Buckley. How are you? Yeah, I'd like to do one of these again. And there you got another steam traction engine. Now they were a big part of Australia, UK, and I believe some parts of the US used to use them too at that day. The Maitland Steam Festival actually brings all the big guns out, the bigger ones of these. They're probably about twice the height of the Kenworth truck almost. Smoking barbecue. All right, where's the barbecue? Come on, kid. We're all getting hungry. Got how many views have we got here, Anthony?
Oh, 5 or
Got
6.
about 20
No,
viewers.
We got about 20. We got about 20.
Yeah, well, there's 20 people waiting to get fed, so the kid better hurry up. The old Everly workshop, which is going to be gone. Oh, here she goes, guys. We've got the 35 painted in the green colours. It's heading out south towards Buxton. And I believe 3801 will be coming back. Now, 3801 is our basically our version of the Flying Scotsman. He holds the record for the fastest steam train in the country. It's a Streamliner Pacific. But all this stuff here is made here in Sydney. So Australians do know how to make steam engines and trains. Yeah, well, this here too, Lehigh is a branch line too. We used to cut in the back skirts here in farming communities. Majority was sheep farming, and of course we had the coal mines up here too. But thanks to motorisation of the vehicles, motor vehicles, you got they didn't need to roll up here anymore. We got the only surviving Garrett 6029. That's our version of the big boy. It's fired up so the people can get on it. I'll see if we can get on it and have a look inside the controls, but there was a big queue when we came through. Okay, Rick, where are you, buddy? Rick Bailey? Yeah, there you go, Rick. You can go for a train ride. And look, you go into the big fight for the big train. G'day, Valley, how are you? Actually, just a quick history in here. Where this section is here, this circle, this used to be the site of the original turntable for this museum. And where they restored a lot of the steam engines, like the 35 class that just went out south, and the 36 that's coming back the other way. But this used to be the original workshop all around here. Now, they did receive a state and federal grant money. G'day, Split Rock, how are you, buddy? Look, we got trains here, bud. Trains. Steam. So they got the grant to save the museum and save a lot of the old vintage trains and carriages that's still surviving here, which is a good thing. I did notice there is some stuff not here. When I came here to done the video for Sparky's Colorado meet and greet, this is where I came up. I did notice there's a lot of stock missing. My dad's old crane is missing. BHP's, or Australian Iron Steel's first diesel, it's not here. Their last and only operating brand hoist crane that was brought in from the US, she's been scrapped too, I found out. I can smell burning coffee and sugar. Hey, Mystic, how are you? Okay. Here we go. We got the, you timed it well, Mystic. We got the 3801. She's only just been restored. The boiler, the whole works, she had a complete restoration. The state government had chipped in a lot of money to get her going, to get the boiler redone. So she's got another good 20, 30 years left in her. They fired her up, I think it was in 21, refired her, and last 12 months she's actually done some time. So this was the express. This engine was used for express passenger service. And Thomas is next month, Les.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. There is a bit of America in this steam engine.
I like that one.
Yeah, I can't remember if there were 30 or 40 of them that were supposed to be made, but they could only make 39 of them. The chassis of that steam engine actually comes from the US. And the ship actually hit the bad weather, and one of the chassis for one of the steam engines is sitting in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean somewhere. G'day, Chris, how are you? And I believe that my GG1s have actually gone and joined them. But yeah, so they're actually one engine short in the build contract for that steam engine. We got a 36 class steam engine at the other end. It's 460, or they were nicknamed as the pigs here. They were basically our version of, say, the modern diesels, the F9 units in the US. They've done passenger, they've done freight, they've done everything. Every shit FedEx. John Benecki, if the people would have followed the instructions sent by FedEx, it would have made it here. Oh, that's my GG1s anyway. But FedEx wasn't around back then. Wait, somewhere. I'm not sure about that one. I'll have to check up on that, Leoi, because I know our 59 classes, the 282s that we have got, they were from the US. Well, the loco part of it is, but not the. Is that gangster car here, Anthony? Anthony?
What you trying to say?
Oh, the getaway car's ready to go. Look, it's even air conditioned. Look.
Steering wheel's on the wrong side.
Hey? Oh, that's easy fix. We just turn it on the other side. Yeah, but look, we put the controls on the left-hand side of the steam engines and the diesel. So what do? You guys end up turning it on the right-hand side. No, come on. You know, we try to match you guys, and then you guys change it. Oh, man. But it's nice to see these old things still about, and they're still registered. Isn't it beautiful? And this is something from back from that TV series. Look, it's a Chevrolet too. It's not a Ford. Something from the Waltons. Oh, and these three guys, these three musicians, they're great. I'm going to have to get their detail later on so I can get them to do some music for me, for my videos. Oh, no. But I'll tell you what, they're pretty neat. So that's the main town area on the other side of the fence. As you can see, the whole town is basically closed off.
With their sound, and then we're going to kick off with some more.
G'day, Chris Friggins, how are you? Got live music there, so I'm going to have to go from there because it's going to be hard to compete with them. Well, there can't be copyright strike for that because I've got no control over that.
No.
Oh, g'day, Ray. Yeah, how are you getting, Ray? How are you, buddy? Sorry, my glasses are darkened up in the sun, and it's getting hard to read in the chat. It's still reasonably. It's getting hot here. We're expecting temperatures up in the vicinity of 100, 105. Isn't it nice? You walk past people that you know that don't even
is
wait
that
for
a
you.
Garrett steam engine there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's nice.
We've got a blacksmith there. We can actually get. If Rick gives me Rita's shoe size, I can get him make some shoes up for Rita. Yes, this is the last and only working Garrett. I believe it's the last and only working Garrett in existence anywhere in the world.
That's one heck of an engine.
That's beautiful.
That is sharp.
Well, that's basically. This basically works like this is our version of the big boy. Because we couldn't go up as high. Yeah, right, mate. That guy doesn't want to be a movie star. Because the big boy and the Challenge and the American steam engines was going to be too tall, they enlarged the British version of the Garrett, which you see here.
Wow.
The only other one that's close to operation is in South Africa. This one's the only one in Australia now that's running. Sorry.
You just have to mortgage your house there, Rick Foltz, or Rick Bailey, I mean, from Foltz Bailey.
Okay, we'll do. Actually, I lie. This is the biggest. Sorry, I've got to be careful because Mel's is going to come back and kick me up the backside. This is the only existing standard gauge Garrett in Australia. Yeah. There is a narrow gauge Garrett that was restored down in Melbourne that runs on the Puffy Billy line. Now, if anyone remembers my stream at the Streamliners Festival, Mel's popped in and say hello. She works on the Puffy Billy line. But this is the only standard gauge Garrett that's still in operation.
Are you seeing what Rick
in the world?
said to you, Artie?
What did he say?
It's on screen for you.
Yeah, okay.
He said, box it up, Artie. He said, send it over. I'll cover postage.
I said he'd have to mortgage his house to do that.
Yeah. What, you mean the steam engine? Oh, I thought I was talking about Rita's shoes. Now, I'm going to show you people something that was unique with the state steam engines and in diesel back at its time. Because we had two coupler systems here, we had originally had the English European chain couplings, and then in mid 60s or late 60s they converted from that to the knuckle couplings. So what they done was they made the knuckle coupler a pivot point, so you can actually flip the coupler to the side like that and use the chain, and the buffers were there to bring the carriages up a lot closer. Now, a lot of you people have heard me talk about match trucks, the little match wagons, what we called. G'day, race fan, how are you?
Hey, Artie,
they had a very similar concept.
I just got one question, Artie.
Yep.
Would that be an Atlas or a KD coupler?
Both. Both.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no. It's actually a KD there,
I know what it is.
right? And that one there is your Markling coupling,
No, that's not Miracle. Nope.
early Markling
Nope.
or early Lima. There you go.
Lima, early Lima.
Lima, yeah. We crazy bunch, aren't we? All right.
Mom, there's a strange man walking around with a phone talking to himself.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I'll be at home then.
You're not supposed to give away our secrets.
It's no secret here. It's no secret here with me, I can tell you. Some people that know me, they just keep away from me. There's an old. Here we go.
Knuckle. That's an old knuckle. Kind of hairy, too.
No, sorry, guys. I'm going to drop out for about 10 minutes. My phone's getting really hot.
All right.
Okay. Sorry about that, but I mean, it is outside at the moment here. It's heating 37 degrees Celsius, which is already hitting the 100 mark. And my phone's getting pretty hot. So I'm just going to come off for about 10 minutes, let it cool itself down, and I'll be back on. So I won't be too long. Okay, guys?
Okay.
All right, Artie. We'll just sit here and stare at the screen for a while.
Okay.
Need to carry a little ice pack behind it. It'll keep the phone cool.
Oh man, that Garrett though, that's definitely something I want on HO. I know it's kind of hard to find, but that's definitely on my bucket list.
Hi,
That's
I'm
right.
Anthony
It's
Dodge,
in
and
your
if you would
file
like
right
to continue seeing such fine programming here on PBS, operators are standing by. Please call and lend your support. We have various gifts for levels of donation. Operators are standing by to continue to bring you such amazing content as we do on this channel. It relies on the support of you, the viewer, to maintain such high quality standards that we maintain here. So please, dig deep into your little purses and donate. Besides, Artie will eventually need it for bail.
Yeah, Western Core, I believe at 1K for that engine. That does not surprise me, considering the prices nowadays.
I was missing which one they're talking about. Hey, Randall, are you still with us?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, but you're there. Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you guys.
So what are you doing right now, Randall?
Well, I'm just sitting here right now. I got called for a trip and then they canceled it, and now I've been called for a yard shift at 9:30. So probably about 8:30, I'll probably have to jump off if you guys are still alive then. So
I'm not planning on dying.
well, I hope none of us are.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think anybody plans to, unless your doctor's Kevorkian, but that's a different story.
Yeah, we won't get into that.
Yeah. Oh, Randall, just for you though. Yeah, I'm about at least a third, maybe 40% through. So episodes shall be coming within the next week or two.
Nice.
I've got your character's got a couple of funny scenes.
I have finally achieved greatness. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know. Since most of the episodes only get about 150 to 200 views, I don't know how great greatness is, but
I mean, it's almost an auditorium size with the people, and if you think of it that way.
indeed. No, most people know right around that. on my channel, which is just a channel for insanity. I do. I've been doing a Western cartoon serial or comic strip, whatever you want to call it.
nice.
Voice comic strip. I try to keep everything on my channel train related, but I do a thing that's called Matt Clark. And I actually started it because of Randall. Randall's the cause of it.
That's right. Blame Randall.
Yeah. It's called Matt Clark Railroad Marshal, and it's based loosely on an old early 1960s TV serial called Matt Clark Railroad Detective.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Now,
for copyright reasons, we changed the spelling of his last name and changed it from Railroad Detective to Railroad Marshal. But it's a parody, kind of a parody of that show and all the old series. But it's very NSFW for the most part.
Yeah, gotcha.
And if I can get around to it, I don't know if I can do it before Anthony's third season of that show airs, but I'm going to try to put a video together showing the show that Anthony's show is based off of, if I'm making any sense. So the actual name of Matt Clark, Railroad Detective, that Anthony just mentioned, is actually called Stories of the Century.
Stories of the Century, featuring Matt Clark.
Featuring Matt Clark, Railroad Detective. And there's a channel called Westerns on the Web. They have the entire series, all 3 seasons. I think there's 3 seasons.
Yeah, you can also find it on the MeTV online. It's not on the MeTV television app, but their online app. It's also on MeTV.
But Westerns of the Web also has the entire series uploaded on their channel. I may try to stick a link into that channel where you guys can go check it out.
It's basically a fictional account where Matt Clark either tells you about famous stories involving famous Western outlaws, fictional stories of these outlaws, or entirely fictional stories where he goes after the outlaw.
Yeah, it's based on true events, but it kind of has this fictional element.
Heavily fictional.
Right. But the way the show works, and I'm saying this without giving anything away, in a lot of the episodes, Matt Clark himself does not end up catching the bad guys.
No, he usually doesn't.
In fact,
that's why I say the serial is loosely based on the show, because it doesn't really follow. I mean, none of the other characters in my Matt Clark series appear in the TV show. They're archetypes of characters that appear. By the way, welcome in SF Ratan and Z. Artie is in a break right now. He's doing a live broadcast, and so we're just keeping the channel open for him while he adjusts his phone and cools his phone down, because where he's at is very hot. But Artie was told he would wind up in hell someday. No, I'm sorry. So we're just keeping the chat open, and I just happened to be babbling about something. But we're just some very cool things there. I went to a Steam Gala when I was in Germany one time. My friend, the guy that got me going to Germany, once I got into trains in 2017, I had gotten into model trains, and he said, "Oh, well, if you're into trains, there's this big Steam Gala." So Artie's visit to this museum is reminding me a lot of that, because they had some steam trains and steam engines and various sorts of steam-based tools. So it was very cool.
John Benicki said Artie's in timeout.
Yeah, Artie's in timeout.
By the way, hello, chat. Sorry I didn't say hi back in the comments, but hello to everybody said hi. Excuse me.
But no, so Randall, you put up a couple of videos this week doing reviews, including you reviewed a what was the wagon you reviewed?
It was a transport. In fact, I still got it sitting here. I'll show it to you right quick for those that haven't seen it yet, but the video's up. So let me pull it.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Well, I got to change my camera, and sometimes my phone gets mad and doesn't like to play nice. So, okay, so There it is, right there.
Well, yeah, you did the truck too. Yeah, I was thinking, you did like 3 review videos this week, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the one on the.
Could you cover up that petty GMs? It's depressing me.
Oh, the page, yes. And the fact
I
that
mean,
Chevrolet and not
Petty-
Dodge anymore.
The name Petty belongs with Mopar. I'm still mad Dodge dropped out of NASCAR. They finally won NASCAR and then dropped out. I'm still upset by that. Emotionally scarred and damaged. And
Well,
42 was a Dodge.
Is,
42 was a Dodge. I still have a
Yeah.
42 Dodge somewhere.
and the heck of it was, Penske was the last remaining Dodge team and won the championship with them.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Sayonara, we're going to Ford because we want to compare ourselves to Roush." But yeah, right there is the other video I did. Was on this guy.
Well,
right
Dodge
there.
dropped out of NASCAR. Dodge had
Yeah.
just gone through. Fiat was just going through the Chrysler was going. Let's put it this way: Chrysler was having financial problems because Dodge is the only profitable part. Well, Dodge and Ram trucks until Fiat bought them and took the Dodge name off the pickup trucks. But it's only the Dodge brand name that makes money. Chrysler doesn't make any money. But
But and the heck of it was, they had already unveiled the 2013 what was then known as a Gen 6 car, the Charger, and that was when right around that same time Penske announced we're switching to Ford, and that was the end of Dodge. And
well, no, it was Dodge announced they weren't going to renew the contract with Penske because Dodge was dropping out, and so Penske moved. So it's the other way. It was a shame because Dodge had just started winning NASCAR. Sterling Martin almost won it and then was in an accident like 3 races before the season ended. So he wound up finishing second or third in the points that year. And then was it Keselowski? I forget who finally won it.
Keselowski was the one that championship in the Miller Lite 2 car.
Right, and then because he took over for Bush, and but they finally won it and then dropped out.
And then there was Ray Abraham. Who
Can we talk about something else, please?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Let's get off that because now I'm getting depressed. So.
Sorry, when your last name's Dodge, you take this shit personally. I'm sorry.
I understand that, Anthony. But that's depressing stuff. But that was the other video right here. Is on this guy right here, and I guess I'm gonna have to try to get that donor engine from West Plains.
Gotcha.
And do something about it because this guy here, something's going on internally with it. I've got one more trick I'm gonna try with it, just to see if it's a motor problem or if it's a problem with the gear. I'm gonna unhook the drive shafts off this engine and put power to it and see what the motor does without what am I trying to say? Without having.
Is this the one you were talking about? Is this the one you were talking about that you thought it was in the gear?
Yeah, this is the one.
Okay.
Because the A unit here, this is the A unit right here, and it runs perfect.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah. But this engine runs good. This one runs as long as you keep it at like 70% power minimum. So, I have absolutely no idea what's going on with this engine because I've cleaned it up.
Body and friends will be back on air in just a few minutes. Just hang on.
Meanwhile, enjoy this view of a engine that doesn't run properly. But anyway, no, I'm just about stumped with this thing. I hope it's not a motor problem, but we'll find out.
And Mystic, to answer your question there, I'm Honda all the way. My child side wishes I was a Porsche fan. I wish I could afford a Porsche, but no, I'm Honda all the way.
You know, it's funny. My brother, I think it was Mystic had a comment, said he was a Toyota guy. My brother has 2 Toyota trucks, and the one he drives, the little black truck, he has banged that thing through the woods and hauled wood on it and drove it to work for I don't know how many years, and it still just keeps going. I think he even had to weld the frame back together. It seemed like he told me once he had to do that. So,
Welcome in, Marty and David. All right. So,
But, yeah.
Rayron, what are you working on or got happening? Anything new or exciting this week?
Yeah, so I think it was 2 days ago I dropped a new video about going into N scale. So kind of got settled table set up with just basic Kato, starting from scratch, and kind of giving newcomers to the hobby kind of a perspective of how I'm going into a brand new scale and taking them with me on this journey. So I'm usually HO, but when it comes to N scale, that's a whole new world for me. So get to document my journey through that.
So that hoodie you're wearing, did that person influence you into N scale in any way, shape, or form?
No,
Okay.
not Heath. No. What really got me into N scale, like I said, it was basically Kato and the Kato starter sets. They've been really cool. And going to local train shows, seeing the practicality of Kato tracks when it goes to especially T track. I love T track and I love that community because when it comes to more HO scale, most of the modulars are mostly prototypical for the most part. But when it comes to the N scale T track, I mean, you got people going from proto all the way to fantasy. I mean, it's pretty cool. Just the creativity when it comes to that scale.
And when it comes to N scale, Kato does not steer you wrong. I mean, I'm sure there's a lemon here or there, but the quality and everything they do is there. The only company that I think personally that I would say, and I don't even know if they compete with it, is a company called Arnold out of Europe. And Arnold makes really good stuff, but they tend to feature purely European stuff.
Yeah.
Now, there's plenty of European companies that make N scale. Merklin's sister company Trix makes the N scale version of Merklin, and they're good. But I would not, being a Merklin guy, would not put Trix up on Kato's quality level.
Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing about N scale too is you also got microtrains, and microtrains really does a lot of fancy box cars and decorative work on there. That's just amazing, and I want to collect that stuff and eventually build those fancy trains, to get the newcomers into it. And I just wish microtrains and Kato would do a lot more in HO scale because that'll get more people into the hobby.
So Rayron, since you're getting into N scale, here's one of my rare N scale engines.
Oh, nice.
That is a Kato C30-7. I love these second gen GE engines, especially these engines. And they had one at the October display this past fall, and I wound up buying it. Now that price tag you see there, that's not what I give for it. So I give far less than that. But but boy, it's a good running engine.
Really nice.
The only thing is it's got the wrong road name on it.
Now, just to interrupt for a second, speaking of N scale, a gentleman that has a small channel but has an amazing collection of N scale stuff and is building with Kato Unitrack is my fellow Ohioan and friend Eric here from ANC Railroad and N scale and Life Journey, or Eric as we call him.
Nice.
He's got a great collection. He just likes high-speed trains. He doesn't do era. He doesn't do nationality. He's got a Shinkansen. He's got ICEs. He's got Amtrak.
Yep.
He just does it all. See, I also only have one little N scale, and this was a gift to me from a friend in Norway.
Nice.
That's a little Deutsche Bahn N scale. He gave it to me and said I could sell it, give it away, keep it, do whatever I want. This is an old one too, but again, did the wrong hand, guys. I'm a lefty, and that's the one with the bad nerves.
Whoa, everyone!
Oh no!
Hi. That's what happens when your finger hits the wrong spot. But this is classic. But the detail they're now getting into N scale is
I believe it.
Dare I say, ridiculously amazing.
Yeah, I mean, even the stuff that they're producing here, the scale trains N scale. Now Athern's bringing their Genesis line to N scale. There's this. I've heard some of the sound equipped engines. They sound almost as good as the HO. I mean, it's amazing how far that scale has come in just really 5 years. So
just a hobby in general, how far it's come, and it's kind of ridiculous. And it's it's like most of these train shows, man. T-Track is all over the place, and it's growing popularity. And I would even say even L scale, Lego scale, is just blown up lately too.
Well, that is, a big discussion to have, is because I am, anybody who kind of knows me or my channel, I mean, those two things. I don't know a damn thing about anything. And he's back. Everybody behave. But I just have the people have always talked about the hobby dying, but there's actually more companies producing stuff now, and there's more product being sold now than ever in the history of model trains. So I don't know, even with us complaining about prices and stuff and everything else, they're actually, model trains are having a boom. Some of the old companies are dying, but there's, for every company that goes out of business, like MTH, there's 5 starting up.
Yep.
And another thing, and I think you was talking about this Friday, Anthony, the people that look for the discrepancies in the details, like what was it you were saying? Something about they have this gotcha mentality where they try to find stuff.
Right.
Maybe another channel I was hearing that on, but
Well, Artie's back, but I hate to tell Artie that that's not trains either. Well, wait, there is a model train up there.
Well, I'm actually in the bookshop and souvenir section of the museum. This is actually the main foyer where you normally come in.
Hey, Anthony, you want to full screen him?
Let me see. It's easier for you to do it, Anthony. Otherwise, I'm gonna cancel the stream.
Mystic.
Artie, I just want to say I appreciate this because I didn't even think you knew what a book was.
Hey, Anthony. Look, they made it. They made a cap after me. Look. Where is it?
They named a cap for you.
Well, actually, hang on. They sold out. I'm sorry. Look. See? Legend. See? Me. Legend.
Yeah. Show me where they tattooed 3801, and then I'll believe that cap's about you.
All right. Okay.
Wait, never mind.
yeah,
Never mind.
I'm gonna say, Anthony, I'm not sure we want to see that.
You don't need any
Be
more.
careful what you wish for.
Just humor him, everybody.
Excuse me. Yep. So, yeah, this is where you basically come in.
Artie, don't you get excited because we're gonna make you big.
Okay. Yeah.
I just want all the people in that store to hear that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, I already crossed paths with someone, and they didn't even say hello, didn't even acknowledge me or anything. So that was a nice thank you for everything you've done for them over the years. So, yeah. I have got a Harley for this stuff coming. That's on the shelf from the 3801. I did put in a big bulk order of this stuff, of T-shirts and mugs.
Walk up and rub the breast of that T-shirt.
Huh? That T-shirt?
Yeah, the woman walked up and rubbed the breast on it.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. Did you get that, Joyce? Yeah, so I've got a Harley for these covered. I'm going to try to fight my way. Hang on. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to come through here.
It's okay, ladies and gentlemen. He's lost. He'll find his way soon.
No, you got to push your way through, otherwise you get sandwiched in.
Hi, everybody.
So, okay.
Looks good. Looks good.
Okay, so
I'm so
look.
sorry to get in trouble.
You've got the main screen here. You'll see this on my Fun Day Friday 49. It basically shows you the history of the trackage within our state, how far it went from the start right up to 2000. It shows you how many lines have been abandoned and no longer exist. You can see that on my Fun Day Friday video. There are some placards here from some old steam engines and rolling stocks. Some of the old clocks that we used to have in the station buildings. or locked in the station master's office. Used to have them on the platforms. Gottingen, that was a factory in Newcastle over here. The Ritchie brothers, another manufacturer of steam engines. That was down in Auburn, New South Wales. That's no longer there. That's gone. Atlas Foundry, you see. Yeah, we're right. That was Atlas Couplings. So they were founded here in 1881. If they reckon, if anyone says they're lying, I'm lying. Well, you saw Atlas was here in Australia. Heavens.
So maybe that's.
We got.
Greece. Atlas was in Greece 2,000-3,000 years ago. So sorry.
Oh well, there you go. Leeds as well. There was a lot of stuff that came in from the UK. Now this is what you used to get on the Sydney-Melbourne train service. Kind of dining cutlery and plates are what they used to have in dining cars. We still have the Southern Aurora that still runs.
And you too can have this elaborate luncheon set if the price is right.
Yeah, you just got to give me plenty of money. You know, I'll come in here in the middle of the night and duck the security system and get it out. That's our state coat of arms. Right up until 71, 72, all our diesel locomotives had this coat of arms on them. And then after 72, I think it is, they went with what we call the 777 scheme, which is basically number 7 back to back. You'll see it in some rolling stock. Gives you shots of the dining car that used to be in our dining cars. And I remember the restaurants and whatnot like this. This one's in Junee. This one still exists, not to that state, but close to it. But there used to be one in Central Station, almost like it as well. L7, that's it. Oh, it's close to it. Les, the 17 class. The last time I was here, this steam engine was fired up and going. So I think she's done her time now and she's parked up for the rest of her life.
Rather be on display than scrapped.
Well, yeah, there are a couple of those tenders still out. Now this steam engine to my right is basically the second version from original steam engine that used to run in our state. There are a few little differences from this to the original. This one's got the canopy over the top, keeps the driver and the fireman out of the weather. Jesus, the phone's getting hot again. I can't get over it.
Good night, Eric.
Good night, Eric. Have fun, mate. You can watch a repeat. And this is the Queen's car for when she came out to do a royal tour in... G'day, Marty. How are you? Hey, I'm not that far south. I think it's hotter down there. This car's been used a couple of times when the Queen's been over. The first time it was used in 1954. And I believe she... What's that, Anthony?
Sorry, I was just doing the Queen.
Oh, okay. Now, one of the engines that pulled this is still in existence, and it's in the museum here. It's a 40 class diesel, our first mainline diesel. That's a dining section in there. And now I don't know which one was her sleeping quarters, but that's obviously the servants' quarters with the 2 bunks in there. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So this could have been the Queen's, I don't know, or the Duke's bedroom. Single bed in there. The royal seat chambers inside there, but she'd done all her important engagement and paperwork. And this could have been the Queen's section. This one could have been it. It's a bigger bed. And of course, she's got the back private lounge area. So she's still restored. From all the years of me coming to this museum, I never I'm not getting into that. And here is my royal carriage. This is the restored version of the one that's down in Goulburn. And when people stop jumping in and shoving in and let some other people, that young kid just jumped out in front of everybody.
Hey, was this money before you?
These guys,
well,
they were before you.
Please. Don't be jumping the queue.
Yeah. You want to take our time. There's not much room in there.
I know. They're going every time they come.
Yeah.
Go and look at them sat in the cell.
I'm going to be 1 minute. As soon as he comes out, I'll only be in there quickly.
Can I jump in there? Sorry.
Well, we've already had a couple of kids jump in front of us. That's all right. I just got half America watching here. That's all. And a quarter of Canada. Okay. Now I'm going to go in. There's a bit of room in here. This is the other This is Her Majesty's Express for when you get sent away to one of her free accommodations. Of course, that's got the guards bathroom there. Now, there is a story about this guy here. He's the son of one of the, what's his name? One of the outlaws in Australia from the Goulburn area. This was a female section in here. 4 compartments.
Not a lot of room in there. That's why we're
Okay. I'm just going to get out for a minute. Thanks, folks.
all right, no problem. Right, go on then, you three. Ashley?
It's very cramped in there.
Yeah, no. Get yourself in.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to progress. I'm going to go down on the other side of this prison car. Now, with a lot of people that know about the history with English always striking, with the coal miners and whatnot, they invented it, we perfected it, the art of strikes, particularly in the railways. It's the longest strike ever known in history. It was started in 1917. I'm not going to go into the full history of it. But there were 76,500 people that went out on strike. Combined total lost days is 2.5 million lost days of work. That's when you add everybody's working hours together. So yeah, we perfected it. It went up into the 1950s. So yeah, it went on for a very, very long time. So yeah, don't ever upset the railway workers in this state. Actually, this prison card's got the coat of paint. I have done a model of it. It's still got the drawings of it, which I'm going to replicate. Now, this is the compartment in here. This used to hold all the prisoners' belongings. Now you see we still use the English European style couplings back then, which was chain. Okay, mum and son, have a good one. You can watch the rest of it later, eh?
No, she's referring to somebody there. You know, she's not. She's just saying that. She's saying the mom at your place should take her kid home.
Yeah. Okay, they rearranged. Now this guy that does all these drawings, this is Mosfile Station, the way it used to look. This guy actually does some amazing drawings. I'll get his details later on and I'll share it with everybody.
Oh wow, those are photos. That definitely tricked me. That's amazing.
Well, they're replicated off his drawings.
Wow.
Okay. Some are photos.
Some of those are photos, but they also got drawings.
But when you've got stuff like this, that's actually paintings. Copies of his paintings. And that's a chap down there. Yeah. It's amazing work.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. You usually see him at a lot of model train shows. The old tickling system that we used to have. And this is how a lot of our work, track work, was done by manual labour. No machines back then. I believe they did use prisoners right up to the 1930s. That's the old date machine in there, your filing cabinet, the old telegraph style phone, your valet stands at the top there. I would say something else to that, Tammy, but yeah, I think I'll be barred from YouTube for life if I say what I think. So this is the platform. This is the platform that does get used normally during the weekends. Now, once upon a time, the displays used to come out to here, and it was all open. They done the undercover, but with the grant now they're divided into two. The left-hand side is being used for storage of the operating trains, and the right-hand side is static display, except for those two carriages there. They're our extra water tanks for the steam trains for long service. And believe it or not, since the bushfires in 2019 and 2018, there's a few more of those water tanks scattered around the place at the moment, where the bushfire brigade can actually tap into the water supply there to help fight bushfires. So we are a real resourceful bunch here. This phone's getting hot again. All right, I'm going to see how much longer I can go. Of course, we've got a lot of the book displays. There is the Historical Society in the city, where you can get a lot of this merchandise from well, these trains that we got here. Her Royal Majesty's coat of arms that was on the Royal Train, which it came out in 1954. That was in the front of the 4001. Some more tokens and whatnot from the workshops. There's a lot of stuff that's been preserved in here. Bernard C. again is not here. Mungle. Now, we did adopt an English system. I don't know if we've still got any English viewers here, Anthony, but we do have this staff exchange, which was used for single train occupancy. Now, what this done was you had to have one of these tokens. But so, used to go in through this machine, and while that token's out by that one train, it cannot be occupied by another train. It's a safe working mechanism on a single line.
Right. I've seen those on
Now,
yeah.
in Unanderra, we had two systems. We had this one here, which is a small one, which we used for the Moswara line, particularly for when the engines used to go up the hill, because it was easier for the train driver to catch this on the way up. Look at that ugly mug on the other side of that glass, will you? So they use a hoop like this. Now, the English do use that, and a lot of the historical railways in England still use it. You know?
Richard?
Yes, that was Richard.
Hey, Richard.
This is one of the old steam cranes used to work around
Yeah.
Central.
Put Richard on the camera for a bit. We want to see a good-looking Australian for a minute.
Running out of battery power again, Artie.
I haven't had it in, did I? But it's getting hot. You feel how hot it's getting?
Jeez. What?
Yeah. So he can say it's getting hot. And I've got the cover off it this time. Yeah, this basically was in the system right up to the late 70s. Sorry, early 70s. 71, I think it is. 70, 71, she was still in the system. She did sit down near Westburn Station for a while, and it got saved and brought out here. Before I was interrupted by Richard and Anthony, on the main line from Unanderra to Dapto to where Richard lives, the staff that we used, that steel bar that you saw there, was actually bigger than what you have there.
They changed in the mid-80s.
Hey?
They changed to the little staff in about the mid-80s. The little ones.
No, they actually...
about the 90s. They had the little ones for a while.
What's that though?
Yeah, they had the big ones. I remember the big ones, but they changed to the little ones.
Yeah, just before that, just where they were redoing the signaling system. Now, I'm going to show you an interlocking system from where a lot of the British and even American interlocking for signaling and turnouts or points used to look like. We're all used to seeing it up on the surface like this with a control board. This is what it looks like under the floor. Now you can imagine a lot of those hooked up to turnouts, cabling for signaling, and they had a system of interlocking one another. So you couldn't turn a turnout on a signal or a signal on a turnout, or send the train the wrong way. Yeah, days before computer automation, and it worked. Now there was another staff system there that had the key on it.
Right?
Oh, that's up the other section.
So what's that stuff?
The staff system that they got there, they got a key on it. I think it's at the other side of the museum. Because some of those staffs had a key for when you worked on branch lines.
Oh,
You used to go into sidings.
Staff and ticket.
Yeah. So this key basically goes in the way they went from the interlocking to semi-computer operation to complete computer system now, which crashed 2 weeks ago. There you go. Some want to be royals trying to catch a train. And there's the model of the first steam engine that ran out of Sydney and the type of carriages they had.
All right, Artie, we'll create a distraction and you grab it.
Man, you should have told me before I left home. I would have got the bigger bag. Oh, hang on. We've got 3 suitcases here.
Do one of us need to start shouting fire or something like that, or shark, or?
No. We've got 3 suitcases here. The kids are actually
No. We're not working with iron one. How we going? Have a good day.
There's always some wannabe dignitary holding up the show, isn't there?
No, I'm Nicholas Thomas, the station master. Thomas and Hat.
All right.
Okay. Hello. How are we? How are you there, Tiger? Good? Good day? Thumbs up?
You know, it's not the fat controllers you've got to worry about, it's the skinny controllers. They get really bossy.
Oh, well, a lot of people say that about me, but I just...
Yeah, you see, even he agrees. It's not the fat controller you've got to worry about, it's the skinny ones.
Oh, you fat.
I better get out of here before I get locked up in the prison car, eh?
Yes, sir.
I know if you're over to some other countries, you probably get shot for making comments like that. Isn't that right, Anthony?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I just want to make sure we're still alive. All right.
I'm actually working in the background while you're here.
Are you working in the background?
Yeah, I'm watching this and I was working in the background for a bit.
Okay. And there's another one of those steam engines redone. This is actually closer to the, when was this one?
It's very English.
Yeah, 1866 this one is.
Cool.
I like the paint on that engine. I like that shade of green.
So this was basically, this came out about 10 years after the official line from Sydney to Parramatta was opened. And it ran up to, it doesn't say here. It ran for a very long time. The 30 class that was outside, the original version of that replaced these old steam engines. Here he is.
He's
Trying to tell me to hurry.
Oh, yeah.
All you need to do is slap a Burlington Northern logo on that engine. You're all set, Artie.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
already
they've got interaction here for the kids on how steam engines work. Okay, we've got the bathroom there.
You know, Artie, Richard's trying very hard to pretend he doesn't know you.
No, he's more like trying to tell me to hurry up and get the move on.
Keep going, I'll catch up.
Oh, he's worn out.
Like I said, he's trying to pretend he doesn't know you.
Yeah. So there's one of our early mail vans up the top. Of course, they changed in style over time. Uniforms that our waitresses and stewardesses worked the wall when they were on the railways. Particularly on the trains that had the buffet services. We have a theatre in here.
Three of these things are like the other.
But as you can see, particularly for the British views and whatnot, there is a lot of similarities between our stuff and the rolling stock from the UK.
Really shocking.
Particularly when we were talking about the wheels and that down the bottom. Now, one of my jobs used to be for the chap is we used to cut. One of my first jobs was cutting up all the old ones of these carriages, well, the ones that were inside. And my job was to take out the white bearings out of the axles there, so we can melt them down for scrap. And put the jack on the bottom and just lift it up just enough to pull the white metal bearing plate out. Okay, now we're going to go into the undercover outside area, the Grand Hall. Here's the other garret, existing garret. There's only two in the. There's basically only two that's in a pretty good state. That's this one here, 6040, and the one that's still running that's outside. The historical significance of 6040, she was the very last steam engine in 1972 that ran in this state on revenue service. They mainly ran up in the Newcastle area. They only on a very rare extreme cases used to come down to Port Kembla because of the sheer width of them, where they could not fit inside the what do you call it? Coal Creek Scarborough Tunnel, the single tunnel that we got. Actually, what was the date when she was last run? February 1973. Sorry, was the last time she ran. That's basically when they got rid of the steam. Had the old jacks there. When the trains used to derail, they used to use the old jacks there. There was a common. This one had two. Most steam engines used to carry at least one of those jacks.
It's a big black one.
It's a big black one, Richard says. Anthony?
Yeah.
It's not like a little white one that you have. That's what Richard told me. Pretty big engine, even for the size of it.
Well, you know what they say, it's the power of the engine, not the size of the chassis.
It's the power of the engine, not the size of the chassis. Yeah. Believe it or not, this steam engine only just fits in the Coalcliff Tunnel, the existing tunnel there by, I think it's about 1/4 or 3/4 of an inch clearance to get him through the through that tunnel. Even to this day, after it's been lowered, it's that wide. So they never really ran it down in my section. They did run it to Coalcliff or Waterfall, but that's as far as they went. They haul the coal in from the Blue Mountains out west down to there. And then diesel came in. Which way are we going to go? We go that way or that way?
Probably go across here and up here, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
You want to ship over
Because it's usually closed off. Oh, this phone's getting hot. My fingers are getting burnt.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. I gotta get ready to go to work. So it's been fun. So
Okay.
All right, take it easy.
All right, mate.
Take care.
all right, you guys take care.
Thanks for coming, mate.
Have a good one, guys.
The heat of the firebox, not the size of the boiler. Yeah, okay, that's a good way to stick. I like that one. Now, this is one of the cars that they used to carry rail ties in, as the Americans call it. We call them sleepers here. It's the same length as an S truck, little one that I had. It could have been used as a match truck as well, because as you see, it's got the KD and the chain coupling. We call them match trucks because they can match up the carriages like this when this goes to crane. I think the big one's up in Newcastle, the big version of this, because I don't see the other two. Richard? I don't know where the other two are. The big one's gone. And crane number 30's gone. Yeah, probably. There's a photo of the ball breaker there. That's the big one there. That used to be in here, so I don't know where it's gone.
There's the name for you.
What's that?
The name of your train or crane there, the hernia maker.
Yeah, that's this one here. That's this one here. Yeah. No steam power on this one. But what do you expect? Look what it was made in. It was made in Chelsea, England. You know the English like doing things the hard way. We love them. We love them. The old 25 class used to be a big workhorse down our area as well. Looks like she's been cannonballed for parts. I believe they used some of the parts on this one for that one that's in there. This one was made by Peacock, Manchester, Manchester City. I didn't say Manchester United.
Manchester, England,
the
Atlantic Sea.
we used to be able to get in here. Sorry, guys. Used to be able to go up in these cabs, but since the scream about asbestos and everything else, we can't climb up in them anymore. We got our version of the rail motor there, which is similar to the the American version.
No, a doodle bug.
Yeah, similar to the doodle bug, but shorter.
Gotcha.
Our first mainline diesel, American import was modified.
Made in Canada, eh?
Yeah, bloody Canadian. You see, Canada, yeah, Canada.
Canada, eh?
Canada, Montreal, upper end Sparky's side of the world. There you go.
So it wouldn't be Canada A, it'd be La
Interesting.
Canada. Croissant, Mazan.
Particularly in that part, yeah. I can hear. Oh, I can hear a steam engine coming.
Quebecois.
Oh, you're giving it a go. Hang on, let me just get over to a good spot here.
Run,
We've
Artie,
got the
run.
35 club. Right, here we go. This should be a good shot. Sorry, guys. I've been getting complaints. It's a railway channel. G'day, railroad enthusiast. How are you, buddy? Doodlebug, that's the one. That's a 35 class.
There you go.
Nice.
Look, isn't that pretty? Didn't they do a nice job restoring that? Now that green was a common colour. And the old FS cars all been restored, going again. I've got a few of them in my collection. And the newest into the family, 3801. That was only just, she only just got a certificate about a month ago.
Ah,
Got
3801, the legend.
No, that was 3001. That was 3001. 3801's gone the other way. That's 3001.
Oh, sounds like you said 3801.
Yeah, no. 3801's the region. Now this was the Institute rail car. This is where they used to train the apprentices. They're out on the field. In the remote towns. Now, I know Richard would have travelled on these doodle bugs, but I had travelled on these many times in Wollongong, in the local service. And the fun part was I never had a destination board on it. One time it was on, it was me. You remember Kurt? Anthony, a friend of mine, Kurt, he came in to chat a while back.
Yeah.
That was me, him. We jumped on some of these rail motors, another friend, and we got on the wrong train, didn't we? He wasn't going to Unanderra, it was going to Port Kembla. Now, in the remote country area, the rail motor was commonly hooked up to a little box car like this that acted as like an extra parcel van. Because they only had a little bit of restricted space in the middle of there for parcels. So it was pretty common to have one of these attached to it. We still got something that's close to the original passenger carriage here, the second generation. Then we've got the BCH, which used to be used for coal in the early days. Finished up doing lime and gravel. We don't have Kevin and Dave here, but there's the carriers that they transport the Kiwis in, the sheep wagon. It's a bit of a joke we've got going on between the Australian and New Zealanders.
Oh, that's where they transport the Kiwis.
That's what I was just saying to him, yeah.
We can't say that. That's not politically correct.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, I will do. I'm just doing a quick run through so people can actually have a look what it's like, split lock up. I did have a video out last night. Just the way I've been at the moment, I've just been too sore and tired to do things. Now, this used to be a popular car for a lot of Europeans. Because they used to go down the rail side, as I know my parents did. They used to fight over the manure that was collected on the bottom of these cars for the garden. Yeah, and I tell you what, we did have the best looking garden in the street. And there's the original FO car. We can't get into it anymore. There's been some do-gooders that gone in and made some damage to it. Today there's a lot of people that are out and about. They've just got no respect for old things, and they just want to trash it, see how they can trash it, which is sad. But yeah, they were the original ones. So they went on to the smooth sides after this, towards the end of their day.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that.
I'm sorry, Split Rock's got a comment. I wonder if you wanted to respond to. I was about to, and then I thought maybe you'd want to.
Well, Split Rock, I don't know. I mean, I don't get up here very often, and if I put it on a video, it's gonna. I can do it quicker this way. If I do a video, it'll just go forever. I can do some things on an individual thing. But, you know, just thought I'd just share it because it is a steam festival outside and normally don't see this many people out here.
Now, see, Artie, if I could just interject there, I would say that, you know, there's pros and cons both way. And one of the pros of the live stream is sharing the enthusiasm, the excitement in real time. You know.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to ask a question,
right,
they can throw in and ask me a question. You know, so you know, when you do a video, it takes a lot longer to respond because I don't sit in front of my computer all day long, not like some youngsters do. I'll probably sit in the computer once a day, maybe in the morning for a little while or middle of the day. And probably about half an hour before I go to bed, and that's it.
Yeah, but what you're watching at that time, we can't talk about.
Yeah, well, you guys are the ones that are putting the show on.
I mean, I think it's awesome to do this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, yeah, we can't ask a question, and also there's a little bit of, you know, you can see everybody in the chat like, oh my God, look at that, that's so cool, and. Whereas if it's afterwards, the comments are going to be like, oh, that was a cool video. I kind of like that, or I like that. Well, you get a real great reaction this way.
And basically a virtual tour guide, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't charged an entry fee. You know, I got in for 20. I didn't charge you an entry. Well, like, what are you complaining about? I got the old age pension rate to get us in. Yeah.
Everybody else.
So stop complaining.
Me, I see how it is.
Yeah, I got the discount. All right, I got the old age discount. Putting your age and my age together, we got a $5 ticket, and that included the train ride.
15 months, Artie. I'll be down there and get my money back.
The way the dollar's going at the moment, that'd be $2.50.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Hey, I've got the change in my bag now. I've got $5 worth of change in my bag. In American coins, do you want it? Because I can't cash them in. Right. That steam engine that was the black one, the 30 class steam engine, that's just been put back on the track, the 3001. This is what they originally looked like. This is a 30 class as well. And it was a tender engine. Now, they were used for passenger service in Sydney before electrification. Now, once the electrification came in, there was surplus of these engines. But because they were tender, because they were tank engines, they didn't hold a lot of water. So what they done was they removed all the side tanks on them, right? And then they put the tender on the back and they sent them down the branch lines. Because it was a lot more, the rail network back in the mid 40s and 50s and 60s was a lot bigger than what it was now. Now, there were in the South Coast, at one time, there was 8 of these down in Port Kembla. And one of them actually was signed to do a passenger train service up the steep grade into Boswell. There's the other
skipper from Gilligan's Island.
And then we got the other 59 class there, which is the oil tender. The oil burner.
It's an American engine.
Yeah, this is an American engine. It's a Mikado. It's a 282. That was actually imported from the US. The only thing that's not American is the tender on it. That was built here in Australia. Now, this 55 class or 50 class steam engine here, this was common workhorse horse as a freight train in Wollongong on the Illawarra line. Used to have, if not one, at least 2 of these to pull the steel trains, the coal trains, the gravel train, you name it. It was all hauled commonly by these. Even the milk train, because there was a lot of dairy products that used to come down from South Coast. And I found your first girlfriend here, Anthony.
Joyce is going to be very unhappy that you called her a cow.
Oh, boy.
No, I said the one before Joyce.
There was no before Joyce. Joyce was my first and only.
You told me the story that you were checking one out before Joyce. Or was that the one that was checking you out?
I think you're talking out a different orifice there, Artie.
Yeah, I could be too. My nose is growing.
Well, it makes it easier for you to pick.
Okay, this is the Weybridge car where they did the weight testing and whatnot in Darling Harbour and Piermont. That's all gone, all the tracks down there. But you'll see, even with this, these trains here too, the carriages, it's got swiveling knuckle couple in the chain. And this cattle car here could have been used as a match truck too, because they had the chain there that used to hook up. Yeah. I got to restore my. I've got one of these. I got to restore. It's in DC. It's DC motor. I'm going to have to restore it.
Hello, Nissy.
Hey, Nissy. Did we lose Artie?
Oh, Artie froze. See, that cow joke came back to haunt him.
Yep. Oh, no. Is phone probably overheated?
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Our broadcast has been interrupted by the Australian Dairy Association, who did not take kindly to Artie making fun of its cow.
Oh, boy.
Did his camera finally die? Uh-oh.
I think his phone probably
We'll just sit
bit the
there and
dust.
stare at the camera.
That's a good screenshot. Yep. Oh, down he goes.
Down he goes.
Oh. So is that a photo you took that's behind you?
Yes, back in June. God, it's almost been a year. My wife and I spent almost the entire month of June in the United Kingdom. So we went to the York Model Railway Museum, National Railway Museum, not Model Railway, National. And so that is the actual Mallard, the fastest steam locomotive ever, I guess, or first one to break 100, whatever it is. It's got some sort of record. So since we were at a train museum, I thought I'd change the background here.
Nice.
Of course, you guys can see it. I can't. I turn around and I see a workbench and a pole and a couple of doors. So I can't see it there. So now you said you're going to N scale. Are you keeping the HO?
Oh yeah, we'll have both scales going.
Oh, he's going to be a 2 scale guy.
Yeah. It's mostly my wife that wanted me to really focus more on N scale too, because she loves the bullet trains from Japan. And again, it's not often you see those in HO, because usually it's the Amtrak ones and
very rare, and they are very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've got a colleague who's Japanese who had a large, former colleague since I'm retired. He teaches Japanese where I used to work, and he left an N-scale train collection in Japan. And when I got into trains a few years ago, he was jealous isn't the right word, but he was like, you're doing HO, and he really started missing all his trains, and he wanted me to find an HO Shinkansen that I could run on the layout so he could come over and run the Shinkansen on this layout. And I said, I can't find an HO one. And then I found one, and they wanted like $2,000 for it.
Yeah.
And then it was 2 rail, and it has to be 3 rail to run on my system.
Yeah. And split lock, I'll definitely agree. 2 scales is expensive, but again, as far as expensive is concerned, that cost is really all relative. So, I'm taking it slow, buying the pieces slowly and surely. I'll eventually make my own T-track modules. Right now, I'm getting the pre-cut modulars.
Nancy. Welcome in, Nancy.
And really, what keeps my costs low is having a club nearby, because sometimes you get good deals through members, and also just train shows. That's how you got to do it if you're going to get into any of this hobby, in my opinion, anyways.
Oh yeah, and it can, depending on what you're modeling. Yeah, train shows and that is a great way. I just did a live stream from my train show in Toledo, and some of the locomotives and that guys are saying, "Oh, I could get that cheaper somewhere. I could get that." But most of the stuff, the comments are saying, "Wow, look at these prices! $5 for that car, $6 for that." And like this one place had Baltimore and Ohio HO cars, $12 each, and they were gorgeous. And if those were like the European cars I collect, same quality, it would have been $25, $30. And this, you could have gotten a rake of 8 of them for less than $100 and probably done a deal too. And like, hey, I'll buy 10 of these for $100, or I'll buy 8 of these for $75, and the guy probably would have sold. And then N scale, Baltimore, Ohio, same beautiful quality passenger cars, because that's what I do. But I don't do American, but I really appreciate the beauty of these American ones now.
Yeah, and it's just kind of another thing too is new or old new. How do I phrase it? New old stock. That's another thing that I keep my eyes open, especially through Facebook Marketplace. That's been a golden place for me to find stuff. And it's like people are doing estate sales, and when they can't do the actual shows itself with the estate sales, they'll just put all like on Facebook Marketplace. And I try to stay away from eBay a little bit, but and you can find some good stuff if you're patient and you just wait and you search it out and you know what you're looking for. You can keep the price relatively decent.
Yeah.
And the other thing I kind of do too is that, I put rules onto what I collect. So HO, I do Union Pacific. Now, when it comes to N scale, it's going to be mostly Japanese stuff or things that I'm not going to do in HO. So more than likely, I'm leaning towards Norfolk Western for the family tree that they have. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But again, I put rules so that way I don't overspend. So you kind of have to be smart about it too.
It did. Now, I when I got into the hobby, we had very definite rules that lasted about 6 months. I've always had a hobby that I guess could be considered expensive depending on what you got into. I was a tabletop war gamer for years.
Yep.
And,
Oh, yeah.
you know, a box of 10 military figures could be 30, 40, 50 bucks depending on what's in it. And, you know, you're going to buy 2 boxes, that's $100 here. And it was only about 7 years ago that I suddenly could actually afford really being a little more elaborate. But when I started, it was I do German trains, as anybody who follows me knows, but it had to be trains I rode on. Air 6 and trains we rode on. And then I saw a Czech railjet, and I said, oh, that's pretty. And my wife was like, we haven't ridden on one. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's real great. And she's like, you're talking yourself into buying that, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. And I did. And then for Christmas, she turned around, and I do passenger trains. And to surprise me, she bought me a German freight locomotive and a bunch of freight cars to go with.
That's
and
awesome.
I looked at her and said, hey, we've never ridden on one of those either. And she's like, I wanted to get you something you wouldn't have gotten yourself. Okay.
Yep.
But it does help to have rules. And I have what is called train money. It's my hobby money. It's, you know, I mean, Joyce and I do share, you know, all our money is in one pool, but I always have, I know how much outside of bills and responsibilities and fund money or whatever else, there's a little bit of money that is train money. So if I need to buy something or I'm saving up to pay for something. But when I retired and got my retirement bonus, all bets were off. I've been going nuts buying trains. I think I've doubled the number of trains in the last, well, I retired a year ago, but in the last 2 years, I probably doubled what I bought in the first 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and this, I agree. You know, all hobbies are expensive. Again, it just comes down to what you define as expensive. Like when you look at, you know, for example, I used to be into Warhammer 40K, the tabletop gaming and everything. And it's like, you got one tank that's about this size that's going for almost $100 nowadays. And that's not including the glue, the paint, and everything else that you got to do to that particular model. And it's like, I can get a fully painted, detailed DCC ready locomotive for that price. So again, it's all subjective when it comes to that stuff. And that's why I don't tend to argue the cost perspectives.
Exactly. I mean, there's always the ludicrous. There's always, you know, like, oh, I would get that, but they want $800 for it, you know?
Yep.
But you learn to say no, and you can find mostly what you want, you know, and it is expensive, but I think you phrased it perfectly. It's a relative term.
Yep.
You know, I mean, obviously, if we had more money, we'd have a bigger house, we'd have a fancier car, and we would have a bigger room with a bigger layout. Now, I'm lucky I've got the basement. My kids grew up and moved out, and my wife said, take the basement so I can build this giant layout. And I have people both positive and negatively write me emails and say, if I had your space, I would be doing all this, and why are you wasting so much space with what you're doing? Like, because this is what makes me happy. And it's my cost. But, you know, as a guy who does European trains, my concept of what is expensive is different than even an American collector. My stuff tends to be, on average, quite a bit more expensive, especially AC3 rail. And then the UK is the opposite. You know, the UK guys are whining because a fully digital model of a famous steam locomotive is now 169 pounds, which let's say is about $200 for a fully digital steam locomotive, and it used to be $170. Prices went up. And I'm like, dude, you can't even get a quality used European steam locomotive for $200.
Oh, that's crazy.
And everything. You know, the UK has a very different view of expensive. You know, their stuff really is cheaper, but to be honest, it was the quality.
Yeah. So here's an interesting question for you, Anthony. Do you think there's a demand for European trains and locomotives here in the States?
There is a large number of us. We're spread out. There's actually a group called the ETE, European Train Enthusiasts, that has chapters throughout this country of guys that model European trains. Now, one of the reasons my channel is called The Model Train Outsider is because I'm a guy that got into model trains late in life without having any connection to model trains. As a kid, my dad bought me one. Christmas 1969, I played with it 3 times. It was boring. I'd rather be outside doing stupid stunts with my bicycle or playing football or baseball. My model train, actually what I really wanted was an electric football. And it took 3 more years before my dad finally bought me one. I got into European trains, and I'm an American, not a lot of us. I'm doing 3-rail. Even among European train modelists in the United States, 3-rail is a much smaller crowd. So being into AC 3-rail is, it's a little bit harder. My local store is 2.5 hours away, and he doesn't care. And then I do modern era, and most people tend to do more historical eras.
Yeah.
So no matter what I do, yeah, Split Rock, the ETE, European Train Enthusiast. I was a member of the local chapter. I won't name the chapter, but there was one that was kind of local, about an hour and 20 minutes away from me, which was the closest chapter. And I'm sure somebody could do the math and figure out what chapter it was. But I hate to bring up anything negative or down, but it was basically, I went to talk model trains and traveling by train in Europe, and instead, every time I went in, it was a KKK meeting.
Oh man.
I just a bunch of guys sitting around doing nothing but ripping on every non-white, non-Christian guy. And a lot of them were old Germans and they had nothing good to say about anybody that wasn't one of them. So after about 6 meetings, I said, you know what, I'm out. I thought maybe it was 1 or 2 guys, and then the more you get there, it's like, okay, he's singing with us. He must. And I was like, I'm out of here. I apologize if that offends people, but it offended me to be there.
Yeah.
Harvey, you made it back. I'm sorry.
Hey, back to the grave.
My phone didn't beep.
No, it's all right, bud. It's all right. Just the phone's got so hot. It is getting really, really hot. Me and Richard was just saying we're going to go until my phone drops out again, because it is getting very, very hot up here. We're under cover, as you can see under the shed here.
Australian
right. But I say it's probably close to 40. About 89, 90 in here at the moment. And it'd be worse outside there where the engine is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting pretty hot up here. Yeah, we're getting to the hottest part of the day. Just quickly here, this engine here, the 442. If anyone watched my videos lately, the latest engine that I had, the 44 class, this is the Mark II version of it. The 2 after the 44 means it's a Mark II. So it's got a bit of a bigger horsepower and sort of different traction motors than the original 44 class. And it's an Alco as well. That one still runs. Then a good old 48s. Another good old Alco that's still running out and about. Who's nervous? Bernard, how are you? And Issy. And there's Southern Aurora cars, one that our mate Richard is modelling, that he's been doing a lot of kit bashing with. And we're going to move over here. What I've got to do is we're going to go up the middle pathway in a moment. I'll go to the end where the first suburban electric trains are and the last electric diesel is. And I'm going to cut the stream up from there, because by the time we get there, the phone's going to be really hot again. Now, the 2 big popular cities in Australia is Melbourne and Sydney. And the problem was there was 3 different gauges on the east coast, but particularly between Sydney and Melbourne. We ran on the standard gauge, and Melbourne went on the broad gauge. And you'll see more information about this. This is what the gauges were on the east coast of Australia. Okay, Jim, we'll catch up with you during the week, bud.
All right, take care, Jim.
So this photo here shows a common practice. What happened at the border at Albury Wodonga, where things were getting transferred from one platform to another. But it wasn't just freight. It was passengers as well. So they decided back in 1962, in the early 60s, to do a standard gauge line from Sydney to Melbourne, or basically on the Victorian side to put the standard gauge line through. So they had a third rail. And the first official train was the Spirit of Progress. We had two engines, which is 3830 and 3820, and that's one of the steam engines. Now, 3830 is in here, but I believe she's got a boiler problem. There was a glimpse on it on my last Fun Day Friday video. And that was the placard for the official. Oh,
Cool.
hang on.
Uh-oh.
Did you press the wrong button?
I wonder. So I don't know if he hit the wrong button or if the phone just kicked out again.
Oh no.
I'll try to keep an eye out this time. Normally my phone chirps when he texts me, but it didn't last time. I just had to look up on my screen and all of a sudden saw Artie's messaging you and said his phone went out and he was trying to get back on.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, he's back again. He keeps breaking security. We keep trying to keep him out. He keeps coming back. Now it's his stream. I guess we got to let him.
There he is.
I'm back. Sorry, the phone's doing funny things. It doesn't like the heat. I don't think. Settings. Let me change again.
You got to go buy a pop. Preferably a can of pop. Seriously, a can of pop, and you hold it on the back of your phone, and it'll keep it cool.
Artie, we gotta get you a whip, man. We gotta call you the Indiana Jones of Down Under with that hat.
Well, it is a redneck hillbilly hat. I did get this. I did buy this hat in
Wait, what state are you
Maggie.
in Australia, Artie? What state are you in Australia?
New South Wales.
All right, so you're New South Wales Jones.
Yeah. I'm an Aussie redneck, I call myself. These cars here were the commissioner's cars. Change the subject. This is where all the poor politicians and dignitaries and the governors and all that used to travel on these carriages here. They're all decked out, something like the Queen's. You got coal wagons.
And that's what Artie.
You got wooden ones. Yes, Anthony.
Hi, George. Yes, what?
I thought you were saying something.
I did. You were showing the cars that you said all the dignitaries rode in, and then you flipped over to these, and I said those are the ones you rode in.
Yeah, the coal ones, yeah. Yeah, dignitary. Me a dignitary? Yeah, right. G'day, how are you, bud? This little steam engine here for age. Oh man, they ran for nearly 100, close to 100 years or so. They too ran around in Darling Harbour. They've done a lot of switching. There is videos of it running. There's some. Yeah, good on you. There's oh, they had the blocks there. That's Richard's favourite colour scheme, which we call the candy colours. In 1962, that would have been a car number. So that's an old dining car.
Or a giant Tylenol. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are common on a Sydney-Melbourne run and long distance train running. We used to have these dining cars. Now, if you be a good boy, you might get paid there, Anthony, because I see the pay bus. If it's got some money in it, we might take it for a spin. It's a good old pay bus. There is a modern day version of it that looks like a British AEC. And there's that conductor again, hey?
That looks like something you'd see towed behind a giant pickup truck about 30 years ago in the United States.
Yeah. And they're the old sleeping cars and dining cars, the 72-footers. Oh.
Well, shh. Tell those people to be quiet if it's a sleeping car.
Oh, no, the bus is awake. Look, he's following me everywhere. The wannabe dignitary there.
He's watching out for you.
Oh, yeah, I'll watch out for him too. Yeah. But yeah, this is the old roll bus, because there was no ATMs back then. You used to go around in a little bus like this, and there was another version of these with the driver's compartment on both ends. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, you're right. Bernard, you're right. It is a Ford. Yeah, I will. I'm actually getting subscribers up. They're Split Rock.
Well, Artie, you know what Ford stands for?
First on race days.
No.
That's right.
It is. It's first on race days.
Rebuilt Dodge.
Yeah. Now this one here, you're right. This one here is your basic. This is your very first electric suburban rail car that ran in Sydney once upon a time. That's what they used to look like.
Bradfield motor.
Hey?
Bradfield motor.
Breakthrough. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them. And I don't think, the one that's behind it is second series.
That one works too, Frank.
Fix on repair daily. Oh, okay, guys, that's it. I'm charging membership now. Now it was known as a Silver City Comet. Used to run from Sydney to hey Nancy.
Park to Broken Hill.
Up to Broken Hill. Now this has a Dodge motor in it, and it constantly breaks down between here and Broken Hill. It always ran late, always broke down. So I think the people that started like a Silver City Comet end up with Amtrak in the United States. Because Amtrak rarely runs on time. But it's good that it actually saved what's left of it. Now, this was actually made at the Redfern Car Shops, which is now closed and about to be partially demolished and revamped. Now, this is the last style of the single-deck suburban cars. You can actually see the interior of this in your in my Fun Day Friday video that's just been passed. This one is a power car. Driver compartment anyway. Driver trailer, that's what I meant. Now the Silver City Comet, they had a driver compartment on both sides, so it didn't require a turntable. Strange looking thing it is. And then we got the first ever self-propelled double-decker train. And I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe she was the first double-decker self-propelled train anywhere in the world.
Cool.
Right. She did have originally, it didn't have what come with automatic doors. They had manual doors like the first ones there. And before they got retired, they had automatic doors on it. Oh, Richard, you left the bloody keys in my engine again, didn't you?
Oh,
You left the keys in my engine again.
yeah.
Look, it's been stolen. Look. How am I going to run trains when I get home tonight?
Same
Drive
way
it
you
home?
always do,
Yeah.
Artie. Same way you
Okay.
always do. You turn a little key and let them run in circles.
You know the joke there is that engine down there with the yellow front on it's a 7006. That's a 70 class. It's the same as what I've got running on my layout.
Mhm.
So that's a joke. I mean, she's the only one of her kind is still running. And now is that the 720? Yeah, that's a 720. That's a 2-car diesel DMU set. They used to run down in our area.
Actually, this particular car got rebuilt in Wollongong with a brand new Cummins engine. So I remember I did work experience there.
Was this the one that hit the coal truck?
No. This is the one that got rebuilt down in Wollongong.
Yeah.
They had a big song and dance to build it. They had a brand new Cummins engine put in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I don't know what they rebuilt the one that hit the coal truck too.
That one.
It would have been this one because it was my mate's coal truck that it hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his accelerator got jammed. And there's one of the old brake vans from back on Anthony Dodge's day. Oh, here we go again. Just about. I'm just going to finish off at the 86.
Hey, Artie, have you caught on the Pokemon yet?
No, I haven't yet. No. So there we've got the Southern Water sets there. They've been preserved. There was a lot of money raised to save that one there because that was the last. That's the only train that resembles what used to run between Sydney and Melbourne. It was, apart from the Indian Pacific, that was the other prestige train that we had in that time era before the relaunch of the GAN. The 32 class steam engine, that still goes. I believe they do some repairs. There's more stuff down the back behind the roundhouse. Shake cam. I'm sorry, Steve. Okay, it's hot, all right. I tell you what, you can come over here next time and help me with the stream next year. I swear it's already hitting over 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Now the 86 in Freight Corp colours. This is the last ever electric locomotive built for this state that actually ran in this state. Queensland still got some new electric engines, but in our state, this was the last of her kind. The first ever electric locomotive we had is the 42 class, 45 class. 45. Where is that? They put that up in Newcastle when it should be sitting here. And I believe that's where crane number 30 is. One of the cranes are up there. So hopefully it's crane 30. But anyway, guys, you can put me on a small cam now. I'm going to swap the cameras over, Anthony.
Okie dokie. Yeah, Joyce just came down, but didn't want to be on camera after that cruel joke you made about her, Artie.
That wasn't her. It wasn't about her. I wouldn't be that cruel to her.
You said my first girlfriend.
Yeah, you forgot your first.
I hope she forgets it by the time
Yeah.
on there next June.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the one that you had when he was at school, the one that you had the crush on at school.
You said my first girlfriend.
Well, your first girlfriend at high school.
No.
The one that you had odds for.
Joyce was it. Joyce was my first and only.
Well, people, it's been nice knowing you all. I'm just going to go out the back of the bush over there somewhere, and I'm going to start digging myself a grave. I've got 15 months to start to get it finished.
Yeah, you better hope she doesn't pack the baseball bat.
Oh, look, she's more than welcome to use mine. It's already got blood on it. So she does have to clean it up.
Well, hi, Trackside Mike. Welcome to
Hey, trackside.
No, people, we can afford glass, but some people are too lazy to put it on. Steve, especially the dispatchers, you know, when they're trying to write down the numbers of the locomotives, you know, oh, what's the number of that? So they end up, you want to see the number on the side of it. Might be able to see it there.
Flip side, Trackside Mike. He got himself in trouble.
Yeah, I got myself into trouble this time, yeah. Yeah, I got myself into trouble.
Joyce is going to be ready.
Well, then again, you're saying that, but we don't know the girl that you were dreaming about at nights, do we?
I find your whole joke utterly ridiculous.
It is.
Your whole comment just went ass over teeth.
Well, I was going to say it was my old one, but that would have been an insult to the cow.
You could have gone there. You said worse.
No, wait. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully everybody enjoyed that.
That was nice.
The walk around
That was
and
awesome.
If you
me digging my own grave.
Better.
G-scale decals on in-scale. Well, that's been done, Steve. That's been done.
Steve, it's so people can actually recognize it, and somebody goes, "Oh, what was that train? Oh, it was the 4468 instead of." I didn't see, the lettering was too small.
Well, I remember. You guys probably seen it pop their head in every now and then, Colleen. I remember one time when flat rail started going into this colour scheme, and they had the big numbers on the side, and they had a bet. We had a bet on a particular locomotive that went past. I can't remember what number it was. I think it was the 80 class. Yeah, it was the 80 class. And as I said to her, there was no such thing as an 80 class because it had all been withdrawn. And it was bucketing down rain. The bet was she was supposed to take me on a steam train ride tour.
Hey, Artie,
She never paid up.
look what I put up from Trackside Mike. I don't think a more wrong statement has been made tonight. Did you see that? He says, "That's a cool spot, Artie."
Yep. It's actually, in fact, it is a good spot. It's changed a lot. As I said, the turntable that's at the back here now used to be at the front. They've only got half as
Celsius there. It's about 39 Celsius there, Mike. It's not cool.
no, and I feel it's like about what 33, 34 here in the shade. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to side off here now, and because there's so many cityites up here and there's so many people, we're going to crack off home early. Because even though we had all that rain, we've had a lot of heat and it's very dry. I don't want to be hanging around here too much just in case a fire flares up.
Or police.
Because then we're going to have a long way going home. Because at the moment, it would take us 40 minutes. If something breaks up, it will probably take us 2 hours.
Oof.
But anyway, expecting more snow tonight. Yeah, we're going to have our fair share this year. I can see that. But yeah, thanks everybody. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Sorry for breaking up. As I said, my phone's getting too hot. A chap was just talking on the phone down before, and he showed me his phone, and he was just texting on it. His phone was getting hot, so it gives you an idea how hot it is out here.
Oof.
Hope to see you guys next weekend. I'll be back at my place maybe. Because I don't have anything planned next week. No. So yeah, thanks for coming. Have fun, stay safe, and see you guys through the week.
All right, take it easy.
Thank you for your help, Anthony, and thanks for your company, Ray.
Oh, thanks for joining me. I very appreciate it.
No problem. Okay, guys. See you, Anthony. We'll talk to you during the week.
All right, we'll talk to you somewhere. or
Okay.
another. All right.
Okay. See ya. Bye.